Welcome to your first mindfulness meditation. I find that the best way to learn mindfulness and to teach mindfulness is in experience rather than explanation. So this will be a short meditation, about 10 minutes long, where I'll be guiding you in what mindfulness is through the experience of mindfulness. So we can just get started right away here, finding a comfortable posture, upright, dignified, most importantly, balanced. Then we can begin by allowing yourself to arrive. You can just close your eyes and give yourself a few moments here to take a few gentle breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you just give yourself these first few moments to arrive. Notice the feeling of sitting. Notice any pressure or curiosity, any interest, any tension or any calmness. And then we can relax the breath, allowing the breath to find its natural rhythm. Mindfulness is a practice. It's the practice of paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judging it and without reacting to it. So in this practice, we'll kind of go through that definition. So it's paying attention on purpose. It's what you're doing here as you sit down, as you arrive. You're simply paying attention. You're noticing what's here in your experience. And so you can pay attention to the feeling of contact with your butt beneath you, feet, hands. You can feel the ground, the solidity holding you up. You can feel balance through your body. We're paying attention to the way things are right now. And we're doing this on purpose. In mindfulness, we set an intention for our practice, typically an intentional focus point. Today we'll find our way to the breath, but it can be anything. Your breath, sounds, your body, thoughts, emotions. And so we're paying attention on purpose to the present moment. So we're making an intentional stance during this mindfulness practice that we're paying attention to what's happening here and now. Now, in the beginning of our practices, we will be having an object of focus. Maybe the breath or sounds or sensations. The beautiful thing about the breath is that when we intentionally pay attention to this breath, it always brings us into this moment. And so just notice that now. As I invite you to just notice your breath. It seems very simple, and it is very simple, but it's happening right now. And so we're paying attention to the breath on purpose, which gives us an anchor to this present moment. This breath always anchors us in this moment. And the final part of this definition of mindfulness is important, because mindfulness is more about an attitude that we're cultivating, an attitude that we're training, rather than a skill or an activity. And so we're doing all of this, paying attention to the present moment without judgment and without reactivity. And that means that when we sit down to meditate, we sit down to cultivate this practice, this isn't the time to think. And there's nothing wrong with thinking. Thoughts will come and go, but we are not feeding into the thoughts. We're simply paying attention to the breath. Nor are we judging ourselves for thinking or the thoughts themselves. We are practicing non-reactivity. So we pay attention to the breath without judging the breath. Oh, this is a good breath or this is a bad breath. And also without reacting, saying, oh, I need to change something. And so in this way, in mindfulness practice, we're letting go of any need to manage our experience. We're letting go of the need to hold on to good feelings and push away bad feelings. In this way, we are simply coming to terms with the way things are right now. And that's what we're practicing. The quality of this mindfulness practice that's so important is that we're simply beginning again, over and over again. Our mind will wander off, and that's okay. A huge misconception of mindfulness practice is that this practice is about stopping thoughts. It's not. Your mind is going to wander. It's simply what minds do. And we are simply learning to notice when the mind has wandered off, and then without judgment and without reaction, in a drama-free way, we're just bringing our attention back to the object of focus in this moment. For us right now, that's the breath. The natural rising and falling of the breath. And so we're cultivating this attitude of paying attention on purpose to this moment without judging or reacting, by gently resting our attention on the breath, the physical movement. And then when our mind gets caught up in thoughts and to-do lists and worries, which it inevitably will, we're practicing that same attitude of non-judgment, non-reactivity. We're paying attention to the present moment. Oh, we've wandered off. And on purpose, we're bringing our mind back, resting our attention gently like a feather that we're putting just right on top of the belly as the breath rises and falls. And we do this over and over again. This is what the practice is. You'll get distracted over and over again. And it's actually when we get distracted, those are the moments and the opportunities when we can practice mindfulness, because we are observing that we've wandered off without judgment, without reactivity. We're being present and then gently coming back. So those moments of distraction are actually some of the best moments to practice. And we do this over and over again, so that by practicing this formal sitting practice of mindfulness meditation for a set amount of time, we right now are cultivating this state of mindfulness, of openness, of non-judgment, of acceptance. And by practicing the cultivation of this state of mindfulness, we do this every day for about 10 minutes, then we're learning to cultivate the trait, the disposition of mindfulness. And so the meditation doesn't end when the meditation ends. life is the real practice. And one of the goals of this mindfulness practice is to kind of erase this separation between formal sitting and the rest of our lives. Because that's where we are seeking to cultivate this present-centered awareness without judgment, without reactivity. And so you can remain here, resting, sitting with the breath. If you'd like, you can pause the meditation and continue in your own time. And then whenever you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes, noticing how you feel, and committing to carrying this mindful awareness with you throughout the day. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this was your first meditation, congratulations. I'm really excited for you. And take good care. Peace.